Hello, I'm ISBA President Paula Holderman. My guest today is Patricia Golden, a recently retired judge in the 16th Circuit Court in Kane County. Among her many accomplishments, Judge Golden is considered a glass ceiling breaker, having been the first female in Illinois history to win a contested election in 1976 for a state's attorney post. Judge Golden recently served as co-chair for the ISBA Special Committee on Fair and Impartial Courts. I asked her to give an overview of the committee's findings, as well as the role she'll play this year as co-chair of the Committee on the Future of the Courts.
This report dealt specifically with the funding issues and what funding problems presented challenges to the court. And first we looked at what the trends had been in funding in about the last 10 or 12 years and found, first of all, that the funding of the courts from the state had been very unpredictable. They had gone up and down, and they were not related to need or the services that were necessary. Secondly, we looked at the real dollars that the courts are receiving from the state and found that since 2002, in dollars adjusted for inflation, that there is a 22% less money going to the courts today than at that time. So that's a substantial reduction.
Now, Judge Golden, what is the percentage of the total budget for the state of Illinois that goes to fund the judicial branch of our government?
Well, surprisingly, it is just less than 0.5% of the total state budget that goes for the courts, and that is a very small percentage for everything that the courts do throughout the state. This is throughout 24 circuits, 102 counties.
And yet, of course, the judicial branch is one of the three co-equal branches of government, and yet they receive less than 1% of the total budget for the state of Illinois. Is that correct?
That is correct, and we were quite surprised at that, actually, and were able to look at that in terms of the annual reports of the Administrative Office of the Illinois Courts. So in looking at these trends, which are all have presented difficulties to the court system, we have looked at possible goals of how to hopefully reverse these trends. And one of the things that is very important would be a concerted effort by judges and attorneys throughout the state to educate people, not only the public, also the legislators, all of us, in terms of, first of all, what courts do and also what they need to continue doing it.
Now, you mentioned that education of both the public and as well as the legislature as one of the points that came out of this report. Yes. Now, this year, you have agreed to co-chair a continuation of that committee that we have called the Future of the Courts. Is the education of the public and the legislators, will that be one of the aspects that you and your committee will be working on?
It will certainly be one of the principal ones, along with hopefully monitoring the situation in the future too, and trying to make sure that we know how the courts can work smarter in using the allocated money in a way that does answer the needs of the public. But the education is going to be a very important part of it, and in April the Supreme Court of Illinois had a Shaping the Future of the Courts conference, and they had a number of people come together, judges, attorneys, and public. And one of the things that a lot of the groups there said was that it's very necessary that the public, legislators, and business groups, that they all know really what the courts do in Illinois.
I want to thank my guest, Judge Patricia Golden, for being here today. I'm Paula Holderman. Thanks for watching. See you next time.